Welcome to this moment of meditation as we reflect on the passage from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. The passage is a story, a parable that Jesus told, entitled The Parable of the Talents. More than a lesson in financial vesting, this passage about the owner of the vineyard leaving his property in the hands of his managers while he is away is about what we choose to do with the life that we have been given. It is about how we use the talents, our abilities, the opportunities that we are presented with, how we use all of ourselves, our entire beings. This is what the passage to me speaks of. What we do with all we have, or the ability to have, matters to the well-being of not just ourselves, but our world. It's not just about our immediate life, but the lives of others around us, the health of our planet. Now that might seem really far-fetched, a very far-fetched notion, but in reality, if every one of us just took seriously what we possess and used the gifts that we have in positive ways, the world will be changed, and all that depend on it. It is not a pie-in-the-sky dream of some sort, but what our faith tells us is true. Our purpose in life, in this life, is to live up to our potential for good and to share love. When we invest in that truth, the benefits are beyond measure. Consider your own life, if you will, for a moment. Think about the gifts, the talents, the abilities that you possess. And before you think you don't have any or they're insignificant, I assure you that you do have talents and abilities and gifts that have been given to you and that they are significant, maybe more than you even know. Surely some of these have been something that you grew with, that came naturally to you. Others have grown out of our life experience. Some of those have naturally changed over the years and the circumstances that we have found ourselves in. But think about those for a moment and how you're using them today, how you have used them in the past. Think about how they've changed your life and strengthened your living with meaning and purpose. And now, consider the lives of those who you have touched, those lives that you have made a difference in as you shared your gifts and your talents. I'm sure there are some that you can list and many that we may never know who we've touched. So often, though, we think of extraordinary individuals who have made history, have been recorded in history for the positive impact that they have made in the world. And they are examples of using abilities and talents to transform systems, to reshape ideas, liberate thoughts and actions. But there are many, many, many more whose names never make the history books, but nonetheless have made extraordinary differences in our world. And I would suggest that our names are among them. The very nature of our living touches the lives of those around us. When we consider that profound truth, how much more do we seek to have that touch be of the goodness and the love that benefits the world? It has been said there are those whose lives affect all others around them, quietly touching one heart, who in turn touches another, reaching out to ends further than they will ever know. It is that ripple effect that keeps expanding, widening and widening, extending farther than we can see. And that is precisely what we are to be and do through our living. There is a verse in one of Paul's letters to his protege, Timothy, in which he says, "Do not neglect the gift that is given to you." I discovered that verse many years ago, and it has remained a favorite of mine. Do not neglect the gift that is given to you. It serves as a reminder to use our lives, whatever we have been given, wherever we find ourselves, to make a positive difference. Do not neglect the gift that is given to you. Putting my farmer hat or overalls on, if you will, for just a moment, I think about some reading I've been doing recently, about the studies that are being done on soil health and our increasing awareness of this network of living material, mycelium and fungi, that serve extraordinary roles in our ecosystem. The more that is studied, the more scientists are learning that this system of tiny, some microscopic living forms have huge implications on the health of our planet, on our health. The very fact that the produce that we grow in our gardens begins as seeds to seedlings, flourishes and then fruits into a harvest that nourishes our bodies is absolutely remarkable. The intricacy of all this working together to make this happen is mind-boggling if we stop and just consider it for a moment. That butternut squash that you baked is a product of a network of growth and nurture we are just beginning to comprehend. And this is true about the impact we each make in our living on the lives of others. Some we know, some we may never know. Together, our actions, our words, our living is interwoven into a network of hope, of love that brings nourishment and growth to our world. When our footprint on earth is gentle and kind, when our imprint is one of love, when we use the gifts of our lives to spread goodness, then the potential for change is immeasurable. This is how we are meant to live, taking the very gift of this life that we have been giving and embracing our potential, taking what we have and sharing all that we are and all that we can be. It's an investment in life-changing hope and transforming love, and we all possess that ability. May we be found celebrating our individual gifts, that we may join then together in building a more unified, harmonious, and peace-filled life and world. Blessings and amen.